Hey everybody, and welcome to our live. We are going to be doing another Hatch version 3 lecture, demo, Q&A, all that good stuff. So we'll bring in our very special guest shortly, but first I need to announce...
Hey everybody, and welcome to our live.
I need to let my wife Jennifer say hello. Hi Jen.
Hey everyone.
Okay, so I think we're both here. It's kind of ironic. If any of you have ever been to one of my live events that I gave, I spent almost 15 years traveling all across the US and Australia and did literally hundreds, if not thousands of classes. If you were ever at one of my events, put a little comment in there. It's kind of funny because all those years, I never quite got rid of the butterflies. Every time I had to get up and give a presentation, I'd always get that jitters before I had to go up in front of people. But the thing that bothered me more than anything else was wondering if everything was going to run properly, meaning all my AV equipment, was all of our stuff, our trunks going to show up by FedEx. All of those things were more of a stress than anything else. And now we've kind of gone a little more virtual. I think we will be doing some live stuff again in the future, so that is going to be coming. But now it's kind of different, and you'd think maybe we wouldn't have the same stress levels as we did before, but it just crosses over because now I'm all worried about technical difficulties. We've been riddled with technical difficulties over the last couple of weeks, and I think we are up and running, but I'm on my backup computer right now. So Jennifer, last week we had River with us, and if you got to see River, give us some hearts. He is not here now, but he left us with a very special gift. We caught a cold while he was here, right? And I got to tell you, watching a baby, because we wanted to give our daughter lots of R&R so she could get some sleep. So we decided to watch the baby and wake up in the middle of the night. And when I say we, what do I mean, Jennifer?
The usual.
The usual. Okay. So Jennifer is very tired, and I did my best to help out. I think I did okay, didn't I? Okay. Anyways, we're going to move on. The other dears, Jesse and Beth, are helping out as well. So if you have any questions, just feel free to pop in. And before we get started, I'm just going to bring up a little PowerPoint because I want to go over a couple of quick things here. Number one, and here we go. With our Hatch, we have our upgrades. If you want to upgrade to version 3 from version 2, and if you do decide to upgrade through us, because we are an authorized reseller for Hatch, when you go through one of our links, and I think that we'll probably get those posted up if you haven't upgraded already, but if you go through our link, what will happen is a screen will come up saying, thank you for choosing us, we really do appreciate it, and you can fill out your basic information, and then it will take you to Hatch's website for the actual purchase. We don't collect any of the funds, we don't do any of the downloads, nothing like that. That's all done through Hatch, and as a reseller, we try to provide as much, I guess, help with regards to creative tips, how to use the program, all of the fun stuff. If there is any little issues with downloads or compatibility with hardware and all that, that's where Hatch support comes in super handy because they, I know, have extra people on staff and they are trying to get everybody up and running and get things worked out as quickly as possible.
And they're doing an amazing job.
They are doing an amazing job. And we will go over some of those questions later on as well. But if you did choose us as your official reseller, then those 4 fonts that you see up on screen, those are our exclusive bonuses. They are ESA fonts, embroidery specific alphabets, and those are our bonus that we send you. Now keep in mind, we do get notified by Hatch within a few days of all the people that have upgraded using one of our links. And that's the only way you can get these bonuses, if you go through our links first. And if you do that, be patient, wait a few days, and we will then be notified from Hatch, and we will send you out your bonuses, and you can download them. If you did download through us and you don't hear from us within a week's time, then please, by all means, contact our office, and we will make sure that we follow up and get things sorted out for you. So that is something that we are definitely going to try to do. Now, keep in mind as well, this is the first time Hatch has actually released what they're calling gems. Gems are actually additions to the update. They are optional. You don't have to purchase them. There is one gem, which is a cross-stitch gem, and it is been incredibly popular, and I know Linda's going to be on soon, so Linda's coming in a few minutes to join us. I know she's going to be doing a cross-stitch demo, and it is a very affordable gem, but if you, again, choose us as your reseller, you do get an exclusive gem ESA font to go with that as well. And there's also the CorelDRAW Standard, which is an optional graphic add-on to the Hatch platform, and we include an ESA file font for that. I tend to be hesitant when I say font because these are really glyphs. These are, I guess, objects that have been assigned to keystrokes. So you'll type them in, you'll type in ABC, but you'll actually see the images that you see on screen there show up instead. So that is what we have now. I am going to also go through here because last week I almost forgot to give away something free. And that is not a good thing because everybody loves free. And if you love free, then you're going to want to start typing in free now. And we will choose a couple people later on. And one person in YouTube, one person in Facebook group. And we will be giving away a design pack. And we did feature this last week. This is our Statue of Liberty tile scene. For those of you who didn't see it, there is 25 different tiles in a, I think it's a 6, 7, and 8-inch tile. And the largest, which is the one that you see there, actually has 3.711 million stitches. So it is a labor of love, but guaranteed it'll be handed down as a family heirloom. It is awesome. It's impressive. It's incredibly detailed. I've seen people in our group posting pictures of it running on the machine.
Excited to see it finish.
Yeah, we're excited to see it finish. I was excited to see it finish when I did it. And I do want to let you know, because we did have this question asked quite a bit within the group, how many colors of thread are actually in that tile scene? Now, not how many colors are in each block, because they do vary depending on which tile you're looking at. But the total amount of different thread colors was 14. So there's 14 different colors. I don't think any of them are all used all within the same tile. Keep in mind there's 25 different designs to actually do that actual tile scene. So we're going to give away to, I guess, 2 lucky winners one of these tile scenes. If you did already purchase it and you're a lucky winner, no worries. We'll make sure that we take care of you. And just a little heads up, we know that 4th of July is just around the corner, and we do have a patriotic sale. All of our patriotic designs, and I think there's like 400 or 500 of them, they are all on sale for 51% off right now. So that's our little plug for that. Now, I am going to bring in our very, very special guest. And keep in mind, I am on my laptop now, so I'm using my, my little touch thing here. And let's see if we can get her in here. Hold on. First of all, and I have to do this because this is a new toy within the platform. I want to announce our very special guest, and I'd like you to give her a big round of applause. Thank you very much, because here is Linda Rayburn. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so that is great for dramatical effect. I thought that was the coolest thing. I've been waiting an entire week to do that. So, yeah. Now there is a boo. So if I announce myself, maybe Jennifer, can you hit the boo button? Or okay. So, anyways,
A gong?
A gong. Yeah. Okay. So, and I did get Jennifer headphones this week, Linda.
Good. That's
okay.
good.
Do you know?
Hear me, Jen?
Hey.
Yeah. Do you know how I remembered to do that?
How, John?
Because I had not one but 2 people reminding me. It was like stereo. It was like Jennifer's on one side, Linda's on the other, and I just so anyways, the headphones are in, so Jennifer, you'll be able to hear what Linda's saying this time. And if you want to, can you hear her? Okay, awesome.
Okay.
So you can pipe in whenever you want, Jen, because I will not mute you. I know better than to do that. But Hatch has been out for, I guess, a couple weeks now. And Linda, as I mentioned last week, you really saved the day as far as I'm concerned, because you had been beta testing this software for quite some time. I had a holiday and all that kind of stuff going on, and you ended up doing all of the video content for all the new features that have been released. And I know you've been playing with this program since it's been released. And are you loving it?
It is so much fun, and you can see the excitement in the groups now that everybody's kind of getting in there and kind of learning all the different tools. And I've been posting up. I think I've got 20 new Hatch 3 tips of different features and tools you'll find in it. And that's in our Hatch Facts Facebook group. So if you haven't joined, please do. We're always discussing what's going on within the software. Mm-hmm.
And even if you do the trial, so even if you aren't a Hatch user or owner, but you want to try the software, we still invite you to download the trial and join the group, because it's a great way to ask questions, get past the learning curve, and see all of the creative stuff that we're doing. And I know that you right away jumped on the cross stitch bandwagon with this and posted some stuff, and you started like a tsunami of people getting involved. So have you continued to play with that?
I have been playing with it and learning more each and every day. So I'm going to ask in the group what I'd like to do, because we do the Friday try-days, but I was thinking of maybe doing like a weekly prompt in the cross stitch gem, and I'll give you a little prompt, and then we can see how everybody can take that and be really creative with it. So I think it'll be a fun way just to kind of learn more of the details as I'm learning them, and as other people are learning details, we can kind of share them back and forth.
For sure. I think that'll be contagious, because some people I know we've had a ton of people in the group sort of saying, oh, I think I want to get that gem, or how do people like it? And everybody's loving it. But if we start to have some fun, creative content, that is definitely going to start things rolling. And I know absolutely, well, next to nothing about cross stitch other than it is a cross stitch. So I'm not the right person to teach that, which is why I'm so happy you're here, because we did get a lot of people last week asking for a little bit of a cross stitch demo. And you put together an awesome video, which I thought was a great idea, because if something is going to happen technically, it always happens when we're live. Yeah. So you prepared a video for us, and I'm going to start that video now. Now, we already kind of, Linda and I went over the game rules, which is basically, I have been married for how many years now, Jennifer?
A lot.
A lot? You don't remember how many years we've been married?
I do. How many?
33 years.
Ooh.
I got 38. 38.
Okay.
Week. Yep.
Well, then maybe your rules are the same as mine, meaning in our family, I basically do what I'm told.
That's
right.
right.
That's
right.
Yep. And it works best that way. And I'm smiling. I'm happy with that. Exactly. Everybody's happy. So the same rules apply here. When I'm playing the video, because I'm in control of that play and pause button, just say the word pause if you want to, sort of go into a little bit more detail, and I will do my best to follow your instructions. Sound good?
Give me 1 second. I'm just going to do
no problem.
It's going to be a brief, basic kind of how to get started in the cross stitch. And so I'm not going into all the tools, but we're going to get you up and running to show you how to do some auto digitizing and make some cute little copy and paste designs. So let's see how this works, and hopefully better than last week, and I won't have any technical difficulties.
Okay, so am I officially allowed to proceed?
Yes.
Okay, and I just had to find the video now. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Jennifer, did you chuckle over there? Okay. Well, I'm very nervous because there's a lot on the line here. Yeah. Okay, so here we go, and roll them.
All right. So people have asked, where do you find the cross stitch gems? So you start in Hatch, and you go to the Files menu, and you will click on cross stitch, and it will take a few seconds, and you'll see that the screen pops up. So this is a whole new program within Hatch, and you can see that it has the grid feature. And I want everybody to click on the help button and download the reference manual, because it's a 60-page manual that will show you exactly how each and every tool works and where to find them. And it's a great resource. So that's a PDF. So the other thing you can do is change it's called the fabric count, and that creates the size of your design. So this is at 10 stitches, 10 cross stitches per inch. You can change it to 14, but this will make the design larger. So the smaller the number, the larger your design will be. You can turn your grid off and on here. I'm going to show you how to load a picture. I don't have a scanner, so I haven't scanned anything in yet. So I have to get one and play around with that. But the other way, you can load the software, bring a picture in just like you would on the Hatch side. So you find your picture, and I'm using this clip art that comes in Hatch 3, and I'm just going to say open, and it will pop up on screen, and I'm going to use the plus arrow to enlarge my screen a bit. So that's our bring the artwork in. Now we're going to the design side, and there's an auto digitizing feature in cross stitch. And you notice I clicked on it, and I'm going to omit the black background, and I'm going to look at the number of colors I want. Hatch is reading 6, so I'm just going to say okay. And it just takes a second for the stitches to generate. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click that little flower, and that removes the artwork, so you can see the cross stitch designs have already been created. So you can come up to this little thing tab right here, and that's the selection tool. And when that's selected, it's kind of like picking an object on the sequence docker. So I have it selected, and I can come down here and I can change that cross stitch object to another color. Really simple and easy. And all the different thread charts you have in Hatch are also available in the cross stitch. If I click and hold the shift key down, I selected that strawberry. I click the stem and the strawberry. Look at how I'm using the stamp tool, and I can quickly create 4 new strawberries on my design with 0 effort. There's a tool that you can create fill stitches. You can digitize your own filled shape, like right here, and have it filled with crosses. I'm coming down here at the bottom. It's a little bit hard to see, but it's an outline tool. So I'm just dragging that square, and it just has the cross stitches all around the outline. If I click on that little red X at the bottom, there's a fill tool. So look how fast and easy that was to fill the object. You can put another design over the top, and you won't double up on stitches, but it will just superimpose on the last image. And I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to select this little design right here, and I'm just going to move up on my screen, and we'll just use that stamp feature again and see how quick and easy you can create different patterns. And let's see. Now, if you want to save your design, Hatch has a new file format. It's called EMX, and it's specifically for the cross stitch designs. So you'll save it, and you'll name it, and you'll store it on your computer where you have your other files, and you will be able to bring it right in over on Hatch. So you just want to make sure you save it. The other thing, save your designs when you're working on often. And I found, the art or the design, and I'm just going to click open, and it's going to say, do you want to resize it 10%? And that's kind of the recommended size. You always want to bring your design in as you digitized it. So there's the design on screen, but you can also come in here and change the colors just as you would any other embroidery design. So I'm just going to come here and, select the cupcake icing and just change it to another color. And when you're happy with everything, then you would, of course, save this as your machine file format. You can add other digitized effects all around this, so you can kind of mix and match and create your own design with the cross stitch and integrating it with Hatch too.
Awesome. And that was one of the questions was, can you combine applique with the cross stitch? Sure. And I think you can combine any tool within Hatch once you create the cross stitch and start doing all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, that one thing I did notice, I noticed 2 things. The first thing I noticed is Jennifer and I do these demos, quite a bit while I do the lives, and she's there kind of monitoring. And I've never heard her during one of my demos say, wow. And she actually said, wow, while you were explaining this. So that.
And I've got the stitch out, so I just want to show you.
Okay, hold on. Let me just hide this so we can see the stitch out. Awesome. So, and let me hide myself so I can show it even better.
So you can see that on screen. And then before we came on tonight, I did this quick design. So again, using the cross stitch tool, but using that tone and the stamp tool really makes creating your design fast and easy. So I mean, I was really impressed. Digitized this and then copied and pasted, and I'm gonna, do a couple more videos that we'll put on YouTube to show you more specifically how, to create these simple designs, but they look like you spent hours. And especially if you did it by hand, it would take hours. But that's stitched out in about 10 minutes. And probably to design it maybe 7 or 8 minutes.
Line the shapes.
Can you hear
Yes,
us, Linda?
there is a tool. Yes, there is a tool that's a cross stitch tool, so you can go around the outer edge of the objects to create like a single line, or you can do a half cross stitch or a 3/4 cross stitch. So yes, there are tools within it that you can do that.
Okay, perfect. And someone else was asking, is there a tutorial for the cross stitch? And I think you mentioned that if you go up into help, that there's a PDF.
There's the whole user manual. So if I highly recommend everybody just download that to kind of become familiar with the different tools that are along the sides of and the top of the cross stitch feature, and it'll show you the different like the little stamp tool and how to copy and paste, and you can mirror copy, you can rotate 90 degrees. So there are so many tools in there that it would be impossible for me to give a little brief demo, but we will explore those as we kind of move forward and kind of learn the software together. But lots of really great tools.
Now, I saw one other question, a question that I have, because with my limited knowledge of cross stitch, I know that there are different, points of cross stitch, like that depends on the size. And you can also get materials that, have the same points, right?
Yeah. So there's the Aida cloth. So when I first brought in the demo, I said I wanted 10 crosses, 10 stitches, per inch. And that relates to the size of the fabric. So you can hoop your fabric and line it up just right, and it will look like you have cross-stitched right over it.
Cool. And you can hoop it, and you could probably line up your needle to one of the penetrations right where that material, because I know it is almost like a sparse material. It's almost like lessons on the weave where the penetrations are supposed to be. So I hope I sounded like I knew what I was talking about there, because I really don't.
Clay has a question as well, Linda. You might be able to answer. Will you be able to print out a sheet after you digitize the cross stitch gems?
You would, what? I'll have to look on the cross stitch side if you could print that out. But if you bring it over into Hatch and you save it as a design file, yes, you will be able to do that.
Yeah, and you'd be able to save it as just lines or as simulated stitches, same thing as you would in Hatch.
Exactly.
Somebody else did ask as well, what stabilizer do you suggest using for the cross-stitch designs?
Today, I used a tearaway just because that's what I had. But if it was something special, I think if it was going to be like a handkerchief or something, I would probably do like a water soluble lightweight one to rinse it away, and it'll look like your regular cross stitching that you did by hand. So if you use the tearaway, I think you might distort your stitches, and I would also suggest to stitch it slowly, like at 650 to 700 stitches per minute, so it gives your machine time to make nice neat X's, so it doesn't want to pull.
That actually kind of makes sense, because with our lace designs that were digitized like 50 years ago, I often would tell people, our Schiffley machines went really, really slow by today's standards of your embroidery machines. And I always told people to, loosen their tensions and run their machine as slow as it can go. So it's probably the same principle, right? Because this is normally done by hand.
Exactly. Yes.
Cool.
Someone was asking, is it cutting after each stitch?
If you have, let's say there's an X, you have a red X here and a red X here. Yes, there are no running stitches. So there will be trims. It's just, think of it by doing by hand. You have to change your thread out to bring the new color in to make, part of your design. So yes, there are no real noticeable, I don't know if you can see this like on the back, but it stitches out really nice. I mean, so you've got, a couple, you could get rid of those loose threads, but they don't show up on the front, but it stitches great. It trims really nice, and no noticeable knots or anything like that.
I kind of noticed when you did the demo that even when you overlapped an object,
Mhm.
the software didn't double up the stitches on that overlap. It actually saw it as one combined object. So I think that the cool thing is it looks like, and I haven't played with the cross stitch program yet, but I know I probably will eventually, but it looks like the software is also intuitive so that it will make it as machine friendly as possible.
Yes.
Right?
And you can set it to go over the stitch 2, 4, 6 times. So it just depends, and making really tiny stitches. So I encourage everybody just to kind of get in there and playing with it, and you'll become a little more familiar. So it looks a little overwhelming when you first open up. Download that user guide and just kind of jump in there and have a little fun.
Yeah, and it is, just so people know, it is a kind of a program all on its own. So it does, the cross stitch gem operates kind of like Corel outside of the Hatch platform, and then it comes back in, so to speak.
Yep.
And we did have people ask before, I own version 2. Can I get the gem with version 2? The answer to that, unfortunately, is no. It is only a add-on to the new version. But as far as a gem's concerned, I think when you and I talked about it, Linda, we were both surprised at how affordable they made it, right?
Yeah. For anybody that's ever cross-stitched, it's well worth it. It's a great value.
And I think I remember it's like $89.95 or something. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. I think so as well. And that information, if you click on the link, will be on Wilcom's site, and it will, I guess, accommodate whatever area you are in. So if you're in the UK or Australia or any other part of the world, it will automatically convert to your currency. So
maybe Bethany or Jesse could put up a link for the gem.
Awesome. Yep. So hopefully, go ahead, Jen.
Question for you, Linda. Wanda had a question. She said, could you scan an existing cross-stitch design and stitch it out? So maybe you've already hand done one and you want to replicate it?
You know what? I did that the other day because I have done a lot of samplers in my time. So I tried that, and I think I need to play with some, probably like Photoshop or something, to flatten out the image a little bit so it doesn't register so many colors. So I think it's something that we should play with and see how far we can take it, because I think that there's potential there.
Okay. And when you ran your sample, did you run yours at a slower speed?
600, yeah. So those like 650.
For Linda's machine, that's actually really slow.
And another question, do you have to take the cross-stitch file into Hatch 3 to make it machine stitchable?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. It saves it, from what I understand what you said, it saves it as its own format so that you can go back into the gem and edit it within that platform. But when you bring it over to the Hatch platform, that's when you can save it as a machine file format, or I guess maybe even EMB. I'm not sure. Can you?
Yes, I would save it as an EMB, because if you put, you put a monogram and you want to embellish or whatever, so you would definitely save it as an EMB, but export it as your machine file.
Okay. And just so you guys know, who aren't Hatch users, an EMB file is Hatch's native format. So if you have another brand of software, every software brand has its own native format that is specifically for that software. And it's the one that is usually the easiest to manipulate within the program. Not so easy outside of the program, because I don't think there's any other software that will read EMB other than the Wilcom platform. So awesome. Any more questions, Jen?
Yes. Wendy is asking, do you have to change the bobbin thread to match the top thread with the...
No, I just use the standard white. Mm-mm.
Okay. Good.
That's it? Okay.
So far, we have other questions.
If you have other
with
questions,
other topics, but right now we're just on cross stitch, so we can jump back to this if more questions pop up.
And maybe I'll go over a couple of other things that we had in the list. We did go over last week's live, and we tried to pick out some of the questions that we missed, and I just wanted to go over those. And you probably might know the answers better than I would, Linda, so I hope you don't mind staying on with me here. I think we already answered the one, which can the gems be separated outside to be used with Hatch 2? The answer to that is no. Can you get Hatch 3 on the FlexPay payment program? And the answer to that is yes, you can. If you are buying Hatch 3 as a new program. In other words, you can't do the payments on the upgrade because it's a very small amount of money. But if you are looking to buy the Hatch platform, you would automatically be getting H3 because it's the newest release, and that you can do within FlexPay. Another person asks, can you use it on Windows 10, 10 Pro, and 11?
I'm using it on 10.
Okay, yeah, so that is all yes, yes, and yes. Now, the one thing I do want to mention is that there is minimum specs for Hatch 3 because it is 64-bit, because there is a lot of new development. I know, and I'm the first one to say, with any new upgrade or any new platform, there's always going to be some little issues that need to be worked out, and Hatch is doing their very best. Wilcom is not a small company with regards to embroidery. They are the world leader, been around for 40 plus years now. So they are handling these to the best of their ability and as quickly as possible. But it is suggested that you have a minimum of 16 gigabytes of RAM, and that's memory, that's processing speed. That's so that one is kind of important. I know you're running at least 16, right?
Yep, 16.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 32 is ideal, and I know that sounds like a lot, but in today's world, the specs on computers are getting higher and higher. So just make sure that you have the applicable graphic cards, the memory, the right amount of hard drive space. All of that is kind of important for you to look at before you do upgrade. So if you have a laptop that is 8 years old and you want to put Hatch 3 on it, my guess would be not going to work.
Yeah.
So unfortunately. Now, a couple other things. Some people have asked, when you do download Hatch version 3, should you delete Hatch version 2? And I know you've been working with the platform longer than I have, Linda. So what's your...
I would leave 2 on, because when you upgrade to 3, it overrides 2. But when you have created assets, which would be custom motifs or templates, or you have, all your ESA fonts that you purchased, it's best to go in and make a copy of those, put them on your desktop or, on a separate hard drive so that you have access to them. Because if you, and I'm not a tech guru at all, but you want to make sure you have those available so that if you would not see them in Hatch 3, you have access to them and you can copy and put them in there. So yeah, don't delete 2 until you know you have everything before in Hatch 3.
I would agree. And even after you think you've got everything crossed over, I'd still wait a couple weeks and see if there's anything.
I've not deleted 2 from mine. So.
Yeah, either have I. And I think that's just, I know that you can't run both programs. So once you do upgrade to 3, you can't run 2 at the same time. And I know that the Hatch platform is a significant program as far as the amount of data that it actually takes up in your system compared to a lot of others. It is a graphics program. So it is obviously wise eventually, when you're not using it anymore, to delete it, because it's going to free up some space on your hard drive. But it won't cause you any harm to have both loaded for a while. It's like an insurance policy to make sure you've gotten everything that you want from it. So I think we are in 100% agreement on that one. Another thing that I would suggest as well, because this is a new upgrade, and as you are logging on, I would periodically go within the software and check to see if there's new updates, because updates are free, and there probably will be a few as this, I guess, gains momentum and the developers actually do little fixes to the platform, which I know they are. So you'll want to make sure that you stay updated on the updates. I think that would be a wise thing.
So far. So there's one.
Okay.
If you put Hatch in already and you haven't checked, just go open that help tab and it'll say you're all up to date and you're good. Otherwise, you'll be taking the link to update.
Maybe, John, you can show that quickly if you have your...
No, I will not. Not right now.
Oh, you don't have it
we won't have time to do that. And I think it's kind of a policy, just so that you guys who are part of the Hatch group, the Hatchfax group, I just want you to know that neither I or anybody who is employed by Embroidery Legacy or any of the admins who are awesome, and they, for the most part, are donating their time and energy because they love this industry and they love Hatch. So they are not, when they might delete one of your comments or stop commenting on a comment, they're not trying to make it personal with you. Would you agree with me on that? Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not a tech person, so it would just dishearten me if I gave the wrong information. Somebody did something to their computer and it was because something I said. So we do always recommend that you check in with Hatch for any technical issues. And I hope you understand, all the admins, we're doing the best we can, but that's just one area that we can't answer the technical questions. We can answer all the fun stuff about Hatch and all that and help each other out, be creative, but the tech stuff.
Yeah, and even for somebody who does know it a little bit more, because I have been using the Wilcom platform for over 30 years, I am still very hesitant to give out any information. Just, there's so many different, configurations out there, and people have different, brands of computers and different graphic cards, and your issue might be specific to something that you are using. And I can't see that. And I don't want access to your computer, but we will sort of, if things get out of control, or if we see other people in the group start giving a lot of advice on how to fix something, we'll kind of shut that down right away, because we don't want ourselves or any other group members to accidentally give information that would make a situation worse. Because we don't want that to happen. So please don't be offended, anybody, if you're kind of cut a little short and one of our admins will say, please see Hatch support for that, because they are definitely the best ones qualified to handle any issues you're having. Did I say, okay.
Yeah, no, just bear with us. I think that we'll just stick on being creative, and we'll leave the tech to the tech experts.
Yeah, and we will do our very best to give you all kinds of fun stuff and show you how to use those tools. So that's kind of what our job has been since day one. But I understand that frustration does happen when things don't go well. So I'm totally with that. One other thing that people had asked about was loading fonts, and especially because we have, I think over 900 ESA fonts that can be loaded into your Hatch platform. If you guys don't know that, little plug for Embroidery Legacy, but we have a ton of fonts and glyphs and flexi fills and 3D fonts and applique fonts, and the list goes on and on. But if you've purchased those fonts, you will want to make sure that you take them from 2 and bring them into 3. Now, here's a little disclaimer, and Linda and I had talked about this. When I upgraded from 2 to 3, and I have a ton of fonts on my system, all of them automatically went over to 3. Did that happen with yours as well?
That happened with me.
Okay, so that happened with both of us, but we do know, and again, this is why we don't want to give misinformation, we do know within our group that a lot of people have had issues with that, and there is some conflicting information. What do you suggest, Linda?
Well, when the Hatch 1 was upgraded to Hatch 2, we were to put any of the third party, the purchase fonts from John, into the program data, your C drive, program data, Wilcom, Hatch embroidery fonts, and you pasted them there. Now, can I say one thing while you're on that? So you guys, no, you said it perfectly, but I just want to clarify, because some people might not know this. If you went into the Wilcom folder and you looked for that program data file, you wouldn't find it. And that's why people were getting frustrated, because they're like, that isn't in my hard drive. It is actually what's called a hidden file. So you can't actually see it unless you know where to go. They've kind of hidden it behind the curtain so that you might not mess something up. So that's how it used to be in version 2. Now in version 3, you can continue on now. In version 3, you can put them in the program files, which is where you will see all of the Wilcom ESA fonts that are included in Hatch, as well as the ones that they have that are additional for purchase. And you only see those when you're in Hatch if they're purchased, but they're all on that side. So people ask, I see fonts in there, but I don't have them. And if you hadn't purchased them, they won't show up. So you can put your ESA fonts in there, but If you put them in the program data file, you can keep all of your third-party fonts together. And for any of you who have been doing the keyboard design collection where you've actually been mapping your fonts, that's where you'll find them, is in the program data file. I'll do a tips post on that to give you specifics, so don't write all this stuff down. We'll be specific, but they can go in program files if you want, or program data.
Yeah, and we have been a little slow on this just because we've kind of been learning as we've been going along. I mean, and that is the truth. I've been playing with fonts, and I'm going to cover a little font demo in a couple minutes, but it is a whole new world because they've given Hatch users an incredible new tool to play with. Now, let me see here. Oh, another person said, how do you install the gems? Do you know the answer to that?
So I guess when you purchase, you know what? I don't know the answer specifically to that.
I was hoping you did, because I don't know it either.
I think that when you buy them, I think you get some sort of code, and so maybe somebody can type in. I can't remember. No, that's my technical difficulty. I don't remember. But when it's installed, you will then be able to find the cross stitch gem on the file menu drop down. And if you have Corel Draw installed, there'll be a little icon right next to that file as well. Well, I will get some more information on that, because I just don't know.
Yeah, and somebody had asked, I guess, about digitizer fonts. Will they automatically cross over? And I'm not sure what a digitizer font is, to be honest. I know that ESA fonts are fonts that are specific to Hatch or Wilcom. That's an embroidery specific alphabet. In the same way that BX fonts are specific to the Embrilliance platform, there's certain fonts that are sold out there that are specific to certain font programs. And that is the new tool that actually Hatch put out, was a tool that allows you to create your own keyboard, I guess, lettering.
Who doesn't have a whole bunch of fonts?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so did we miss any questions, Jen, before I do my little demo? Because I'm going to need about 10 minutes for that. And just so you guys know, when I give this little demo, it's going to be fast, it's going to be furious. And I am planning on doing a YouTube video specifically on this, because it does get pretty in-depth.
I will just jump in and say we did have a few customers. I'm hearing my feedback, and it's confusing me of how it worked for them for downloading. Jeanette said it automatically installed for her when she paid. Okay. Lucinda said she got a link to download the gems. Linda said it just automatically installed after she restarted Hatch. She could see it. And Michelle said she got a link as well. So a little bit different for everybody. Again, thank God we're not Hatch support.
And we thank God everyone. We are not Hatch support, and we thank God for Hatch support.
Yes.
So we get to thank God twice.
Yes.
Which is okay. Awesome. So I'm going to give a little demo, and hopefully, Linda, same thing here. I'm going to keep you on screen, because if you have any questions, and hopefully you might learn a little something
I don't know
from what I'm going to show. Okay, you don't know what I'm showing, so this is going to be all new for you. Okay, well, the reason why I wanted to do this is because last week somebody had asked with regards to the new feature, and what do they call it again? I keep wanting to say KFC, because it's kind of
the keyboard design
collection. So
I know it is a mouthful.
Yeah.
So
okay, so it's KDC is the actual name of it, and the good news is that is the name of the file association to the one that you're creating. So if you see the KDC format, that is a keyboard font that you have assigned to the Hatch platform. And the question that I had last week was, how is it in any way different from an ESA font? In other words, now we're able to assign our PES fonts. If you've purchased PES fonts or any outside Stitch machine data fonts, you can now bring them into Hatch and very quickly assign keystrokes to them and make them into a keyboard lettering, which is just incredibly cool. And that is, I think, going to be a huge bonus. But the other question that came in was, well, if I'm creating my own fonts in Hatch using an EMB format, can I save those in EMB within my font generator as well? And then is that in essence a ESA file? Which, that's sort of the question that came out. So right away I thought, you know what, that logic is pretty good, but I know there's going to be some differences. So I just wanted to quickly go through with you guys what I found when I did my little detective work, because I did have to go in and take a look at the whole idea of that being done. Now, I'm just going to go over here. I won't be able to see you, Linda. So if you have any questions, just pipe in. Okay, so here is the collection button, and it's Keyboard Design Collection. And I think you could actually rename this, because you could call it Keyboard Design Collection, or you could call it Keyboard Design Creation, because it will in essence do both. And I think that's really cool. Now, here is what I sort of saw within the fonts. Now, this here is an ESA font. And this font right here is a font that I created. It's and if you look on it right here, I have that little red squiggly, which means it's an ESA file, and it's called Seeds 30 millimeter. Now, in all the fonts that I've created, I've always put a millimeter beside the name so that you know the minimum that you would want to use to create that font, because every font has a minimum based on how wide the stitches are or how much detail is in it. So this one, I just knew from digitizing, I wanted to make this one 30 millimeters. Now, the difference with this is an ESA file is not created in Hatch. It's created in Wilcom's commercial platform. And there's a little bit more that goes into it as far as how you generate your objects. And it does allow you to do something kind of, it's join closest point between the objects. So when you create an ESA file properly, you'll be able to bring in all of your objects. And if I hit the H key right now, and I can see right here, and I'm going to turn off the stitches so that we just have the outlines there. And let's turn this off here just so I can see it. I have a little triangle here and a little circle there. That means that there is a trim or a jump between those two objects, but they still trim and jump right at the closest point. Now, when I take this and I hit that H key, and I'm going to turn back on my stitches so that we can see it, and if I grab this letter and move it closer to this one, when it gets to that closest point, it's going to automatically cross over and get rid of the trims and jumps. And that's where it's a little bit different than any other program, because the software knows that whether you're going from left to right or right to left, or whether it's the top or the bottom or the center of the object, it will automatically join closest point no matter how you set up the properties of how you want that baseline to be, or right to left, left to right, or center out justified. So that is the magic of an ESA font. The other part of the magic is you can take that ESA font, and I can take this now, and I can say, I want this design right here. Let's just go out of here. Escape, sorry. I'm going to go over here, grab the entire thing again, and I'm going to make this like 300% larger, which is usually a big no-no. And I can make that, and you can see that for the most part, it actually went in and engineered that properly. And I can go in and I can change stitch types, and I can change effects, and I can move nodes, and I can do whatever I want to this font. That is the magic of an ESA font, because it's object-based, it joins closest point, you can control the trims and everything else with it. Now, here's what I found when I took this same ESA font, and I took this, I typed out some letters, the entire alphabet actually for the first two, and I saved each letter as a PES file. So that is the Brother or Babylock format. It's a stitch file, it's not object-based, and I assigned it a keystroke within the Keyboard Design Collection. Okay, so I actually did that whole thing. And now when I bring it into the software, I can see that it has brought it in, but when I hit that H key and you start moving it closer to the next one, it's never going to go closest point, because it has a designated start and stop, and it won't know to be any more intelligent than what you put in there. So what you put in is what you get out. Does that kind of make sense, Linda?
It does, yes.
Okay. Now, the other thing that happens is when I take that and I make it 200% bigger, most times it's kind of a known fact that with a PES or a stitch data file, you shouldn't go above, let's say, 10 or 20% up or
Mhm.
down. That's usually the standard. And with this, it actually did a pretty good job of converting it. But when I look at these objects right now, there's no option to change the stitch types.
Ah,
And that doesn't mean you can't do it. What you can do is you can start to break apart these letters, and I can select them and continue to break them apart until all the objects are broken apart. And then I can grab that and I can change it from a, let's go to a fill stitch, and I'm going to see if it, and did it give me the fill? It actually did. There's a tatami right there. So it gave me the option for a tatami. So I still am able to go in there. Now, I will give Hatch incredible, how can I say this? I should hit the applause button on the little thing that I have there. They have done an incredible job of converting a PES object-based file to objects, because there's not much to really clean up here. I mean, other than things like this, where I have to maybe go in and grab that object right there, and I might have to grab this node and move it over here and grab that node. So I can still go in and clean it up, but it really did convert to objects really well. So
Good.
that I get, yeah, I mean, so that's cool. Now within the EMB file, this is where I took the ESA font. I didn't save it as a PES file. I saved it as an actual EMB file. And then I brought it in as the native format into the design creator. I assigned the keystrokes, or sorry, the keyboard creator, assigned the keystrokes. And this is where things really went bad, believe it or not, because you would almost say to yourself, if I take an object-based file that is an EMB file, and I bring it in, save it as EMB, and then assign it, it should come out okay. Well, this is where doing it within my ESA files did not work. Because if you look here, what ended up happening, because when I create an ESA file, it's in a different kind of module or level of the program. I'm creating it with all types of values of joining closest point. So when it brought it back out, look what happened. Can you see what I see?
Yeah. Oh.
There is a, yeah.
It's really
So
bad.
it did some crazy things, okay? Now, what I was able to do, and I'm going to do this on one of these. Actually, I could do it. Let's call those stitches back. And I'm going to bring those stitches back, and I'm going to grab this here. I'm going to get rid of one of these letters just so that I can only play with one of them. Now, what I'm going to do here is I can see all of those little trims and jumps there, which you definitely want. Let me get rid of this here, and I'm going to go back into, let's get rid of the shapes. Okay, so there I can see all the trims and jumps. Now, if I take this object now and I break it apart and I make sure that it's broken apart, then I could go to my digitizing tools and I could come in and tell it to branch. And if I take that object and branch it so that there is a start and a stop point, then look what happened to all those trims and jumps. Okay, they went away. So that's sort of where I want to show people the difference, because even if you have a branched EMB file, meaning that if you were to create this font as an EMB file, and if you did it in Hatch and saved it, I doubt that it would generate all those trims. Because the way you digitize it, if you know how to digitize, you path a design so that you don't have trims, correct?
Exactly.
Okay? Yes. So you're going to path it the way you want, and then it's going to be saved as a letter A and a letter E. And then when it comes back in, because this is a same, I guess, font, you can see right here we have this little character that's different than the ESAs. With this here, we have a font that is now branched, but when you look at these objects and when you try to bring them closest point, guess what still doesn't happen?
Oh, the trim, it doesn't trim. Or
yeah, it doesn't trim.
It does, yeah.
Okay, so the moral of the story is you have an incredible new feature and new tool within the Hatch program. Yeah, okay, hold on, Jen. Jennifer said, ooh, ah. I just have to come back here now so I can see what's happening on the screen. And I'm going to get rid of this one real quick to bring us back. Okay, so you have an incredible new feature within this software.
Yeah.
Yippee!
Okay. Yeah, this is so cool. I'm loving all, I could just go through all these. Who thinks this is an incredible tool? Okay. Okay, I'll turn them all off now. But it is awesome because if you have Hatch version 3, you can create your own objects and everything in the EMB file format. You can save them as your KDC, okay, file, and you will have a true object-based file where if you know anything about the object-based files, you can grab them, you can break them apart, you can change the stitch types, you can combine them together, weld them together, you can create all kinds of different motifs and stitch effects and duplicating them. And it opens up a whole new world. Now, is it an actual ESA file? No, it's not, because the ESA files will actually join closest point, and I think that's about it, to be honest. I mean, they're engineered a little differently, so they are more for production friendly. And I will also mention this, and I'm not discrediting anybody else out there, because there is a ton of incredible digitizers out there. I'm not the only one who knows what they're doing. I'll never claim to be, but a font that is created is only as good as the digitizer who did it in the first place. And hopefully we'll all agree on that. If you have a crappy font, it just wasn't done by a person who is at that level yet. But can you get to that level? Sure you can, but it takes education and patience and all that good stuff. So anyways, anything to add to that, Linda? Did I kind of explain the difference?
That's like a whole nother, I got to think about that. Yeah, that's like a lot to take in. I'm excited. Another
It's like a
little
gem
thing in there.
Yeah, that is a whole new. I mean, if for those of you who don't know and who haven't upgraded yet, the upgrade from version 2 to version 3 was, I think, $199.95, and that's the US dollars. But they have a ton of incredible new features. Like, I'm talking big features and a ton of enhancements to the software. But that one feature that I just showed you, in my opinion, is worth $199 all by itself.
Yeah. I got really, that's going to be fun to really think
Linda's
around
wheels
that.
are turning.
Well, I know better than to challenge Linda on anything at this point.
No, I'll let you win this one.
Okay. So anyways, guys, I hope that was, and we're almost at that point, aren't we, Jen?
Yes, we do have some questions, and we can
couple
answer
of questions
real
before
quick.
we do that, because I did tell everybody that I was going to try to keep this to a certain time period. But before we do that, I just want to come in and say a couple things and show on stream. Come on, there we go. Okay, so if you have not downloaded Hatch yet, you have never tried Hatch, but you'd like to, there is a 30-day free trial, and there's that magic word. It's absolutely free. We also have a digitizers challenge where if you download the software and want to try it out, actually creating some designs, we have free lessons for you, so you can do that as well. Please, please, please do it. Even the download trial, do it starting at our site, because that way you are registered as our customer and you're supporting Embroidery Legacy. And if you do decide to purchase, we will give you lots of free stuff. So that's the add-on to that.
Maybe Bethany or Jesse, you can post the free link.
Yep, they will put the free link in there. I also want to let people know we just came out with our Embroidery 101 video course and cheat sheet. It's absolutely free as well, and this is some of the foundational rules. So even if you aren't a Hatch user, this is something I think every embroidery machine hobbyist or professional should know. It'll make your life easier. And the last thing is,
and even if you're a sampler.
Yeah, even if you're a sampler, even if you don't edit designs, we'll teach you all kinds of things about why bad things happen. And you will then understand and not blame yourself, because most times, whose fault is it, Linda?
It's mine.
The digitizer. I mean, we're the ones who are feeding the information.
User error.
Yeah, user error. So please join us on social media. We have 2 groups. Our Hatch Facts group is now at 11,500 members. We have an Embroidery Legacy group that is for anybody with whatever software machine brand you own, and that one is at 27,400. And then we have our YouTube channel. Please go subscribe, because I've been telling people that when we hit 50, what am I going to do?
Prizes, cars, Free
Oh,
vacation.
geez. Oh, okay.
If
I
somebody's
got
getting a car,
hold
it's
on,
me, okay?
Just kidding.
Linda. I just want you to know that I can actually mute you at any time.
I got carried away with that applause meter. Or whatever.
Okay. We're gonna give away some free stuff. We're not gonna give away a car. We're not gonna give away anything like that. But we will give away some free stuff. So that I can guarantee you. And who likes free stuff?
We all do.
Everybody. Okay. Sorry, I had to get that in there one more time. Okay. And there are more little wonderful things like that, which I'll be adding in the future. Okay. So two things. We want to give away the design. So Jennifer, do you have two names?
I do.
Okay. Awesome. So Jennifer is going to give away the Liberty tile scene.
Yes. So the YouTube winner tonight is Linda Holcraft. Congratulations, Linda.
Congratulations.
And if you want to email into contact@embroiderylegacy.com, and Leanne will take care of you. And the Facebook winner tonight is Inga Spang. So congratulations, Inga.
Congratulations.
Also,
Inga.
if you could email into contact@embroiderylegacy.com.
Awesome. So now we got the free stuff, and we have time for a couple of more questions. And if we don't get to your questions, please post them in the Facebook group, and we will do our best to get you some answers.
Okay, I'll try to be real quick. If anybody else has questions and wants to send them in. First of all, where can I find the Hatch 3 PDF guide?
Hatch 3 PDF.
If you go into when you're in Hatch, click on the help menu and it'll say product guide. Click on that and you'll have access to the quick release, the get started fast, the complete 600-page user guide, and the cross stitch gem user guide is in there, all PDF forms.
Perfect. Okay, if you have any questions with the user guide, you're probably best to go through Hatch support, trying to download it. If you've already paid for the Corel gem and you're wondering how to get your bonuses from us, if it's been a few days, then you can also email into us at contact.
Email. As long as you started your journey through one of our links, then we will definitely get you your bonuses. And we did put something on our website for the release so that when people start their journey, a little pop-up came up and said, please leave us your information. That way we have kind of documented that, yes, you went through our link and we know when you did, so that if for whatever reason Hatch says, oh, you didn't go through Embroidery Legacy, we can say, yes, you did. Here's the information.
This person's sleeping right now because they are in a different zone. The question is, I have Hatch. How do I create our own embossed fills?
That's a tool under object properties. So you can change your fill to an embossed fill or a motif fill. So pop into our Hatch Facts group if you want a little more information, and we can show you exactly where it is, but it's in object properties.
And you can create custom embossed
Yeah, you can do that
objects.
too.
Yeah, yes, you can do that as well. That would be a
pretty
whole
cool too.
Yeah, that would be a whole other live.
Yeah.
Yes. Angel, you have not received your bonuses. Again, if you can email in, and if your link is not working, then you would have to contact the support group with Hatch to help you out with that.
Yeah, as far as we know, our links are working. I know that sometimes, like, they're obviously it's all tracked through cookies and everything, but this is a big world of technology, and I know that some platforms, and I'm not going to mention any one specifically, but have had differences with other platforms, and they don't track cookies anymore. So that's why we tried to put in this safeguard, so that we can make sure that if you did try to get your upgrade or your purchase through us, we would have some, I guess, paper trail, so to speak, digital trail.
Brenda's asking, do we know if Valiant baby lock hoops are listed in the program in the V3?
Oh, there's a whole, they did add a lot of new hoops. I don't have a baby lock, so I can't speak to that. But when you're in Hatch 3 and you find your machine, if its baby lock is listed, and under hoops, it will show you the hoops that are compatible with those machines.
Yes.
So I don't have a specific on that. I'm sorry.
That machine has been around for quite some time, so I would guess that it's there. And if it's not, Baby Lock and Brother are kind of within the same family, so to speak. So there is always an equivalent model for Brother as there is for Baby Lock. You might find that one, and it would be exactly the same.
Or create your own custom, because I've done that
Exactly.
with Mighty Hoops. So you can create your own custom hoop too. Yeah.
Awesome. 2 or 3 more questions, Jen, because it's already 5 minutes after, and I'm going to be in trouble
We're
here.
almost done.
Okay, awesome.
Do we have any designs for Canada Day or July 1st?
Canada Day, July 1st
Or
or
July
4th?
1st.
Okay. We do have a bunch of designs for Canada Day and Canadian themed patriotic designs. So if you do go on to our website, which is Digitizing Made Easy, I'm glad I remembered that, and you type in the search Canada, you will see a whole bunch of stuff come up there. And I know we have stuff because
But we do not have a tile scene.
No,
I'm
we
not
do not have
sure
a
if they
no,
were
we don't have a
confirming
tile scene. No, we don't have a big tile scene, but we have a lot of Canadian
Okay.
designs.
This came in, Linda, when you were doing the software demo. So I don't know if it's for the cross stitch or just regular. Can you auto digitize outlines around the design?
I think you can. I'll look into that further, because there is, I believe you can click on the object and create an outline. I'll look into that. I'm almost certain you can, but I have not played with that, so I don't want to say yes for sure. But
And usually, I think we've always found, Linda, that even if it doesn't do it, there always seems to be some back door that we find.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Do you know how to set up a thread chart and assign the threads to the palette?
Yes, if you click on the thread chart, and again, go to the user guide, because it'll be more specific. But there, I think it's set defaulted to isochord colors, but you can, there's the drop down list of thread colors that are on the hatch side that you can then, like the color one that's shown in the cross stitch, you can put it, let's say I just switched some to Aurifil. You just click and say apply. So yes, you can do that.
I know that you can even within Hatch, and I don't know about cross stitch, but you can also go in there and you can look at your thread stash, and you can make a custom palette based on the brands of thread and the thread that you own. So that is.
I do
did
have
you
a
do
tip
that?
in our Hatch Facts group. There's a tip to show how to create your own custom thread chart. So I'll have to see if that integrates into cross stitch, but I bet it will.
Okay.
Awesome.
And what is the best way to convert an SVG file?
Corel.
You can, in Hatch, if you have a design and it's a closed shape, you can create an SVG and you can export it to your cutter. Otherwise, if you have the Corel gem, you can create an SVG in there as well. But it has to be,
if you
remember.
Yeah, but if you want to bring in an SVG as a backdrop.
Yes, you need Corel Draw to bring in an SVG. Yes.
Okay. And Doug is asking where the link is to upgrade through John. So thank you, Doug, for your support. We do appreciate it.
Okay, hopefully
Jesse, you can put that up,
Awesome.
please. And Larry says thank you, John and team, for doing the live sessions. Even though he's late, he's watching. He'll rewatch from the beginning, and he's happy with all the information. Keep it up.
Awesome. Well, I just, first of all, I want to thank everybody, and let's give a big round of applause for Linda. It never gets old.
Oh, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. And a big round of applause for John. Okay. And Jennifer, thank you for joining us.
Thank you to all of our admins.
Okay. Anyways, I'll stop playing with those buttons. There's only so many there now. It's beta version, so you don't have to worry. They might take them away. Sorry, what's that, Jen?
Thank you to all of our admins for all the extra help lately.
Yes, thank you to all of our admins.
Yes.
And thank you to all of the support team at Wilcom as well. We know you guys have just been going crazy, getting everybody the help that they need. So
yes,
that's awesome.
And we also have a comment from Lynn saying that Leanne has been awesome support as well.
Leanne
so
is
great.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've been blessed with incredible people, and we are blessed to have all you guys as our customers. So we just want to thank you very much from the Embroidery Legacy. And again, Linda, thank you. I really appreciate your joining us, because you're doing and did a fantastic job, and you're just incredibly talented. So
Oh,
there should be a blush function on here.
Yes. Thanks to all of our customers for all of your support and all of our groups. If you have further questions, we're trying to answer, and you're giving us ideas and inspiration, and hopefully we're helping to answer.
Okay.
So, happy
And
Father's Day.
happy Father's Day, everybody. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you'll want to do that, because I actually have been working on some designs for the giveaway. And in a future live, I'll actually let you guys choose between a couple of which one we're going to give away when we hit 50,000 people. So if you haven't subscribed, please go over there and do that now. We'd really appreciate it.
And
Awesome.
John, is the KDC mapping video, is that coming out that I did?
Yeah, it will come out very, very soon. I was telling you, and my right arm was cut off since last week's live because my computer kind of had some system errors.
Mhm.
So it just got back from the shop
Mhm.
today, and I will get on that video right away. And speaking of videos, your video that you did
Mhm.
is going to be coming out this week. And which one was that on, Linda?
That will be on mapping of the machine file fonts, the KDC fonts.
Uh-oh.
So everybody's been asking, so I kind of went pretty detailed to show you how to bring each letter in and make little minor changes. So that'll be out this week. So
which will be perfect that yours comes out first, and then I'll do my very best to get mine to come out the following week, because it'll go just into more detail based on what I showed you briefly here. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
God bless and have a good night. Thank you, Linda.
See you soon.
Bye.